Bucher, are you going to go to Orlando to be in the bubble?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting to find out.
Wait,
Um,
to find out, do you want to?
I wouldn't say that I want to, but I will go. I am intrigued by it. Just the experience of doing it. It's going to be, first time, maybe only time. Who knows? I'm fascinated by by how and what happens, but I don't know. I mean, look, 2-3 months in lockdown is when you suddenly think about it, it is a commitment. But at the same time, I'm really fascinated by what it's going to be like, and the closer I can be to something, then the more of a feel I'm going to have for exactly what it's all about.
Not just that, but the relationships that could be established because, guys can't go anywhere, right? They can't go anywhere. And so they're there. And whether it's, playing golf or just hanging out and having coffee, you know how this thing goes. Like, even when you go to All-Star Weekend, right? Or you go to the draft and you see everybody, grabbing Starbucks coffee in the morning. Like,
Yeah,
it would be in the inner circle of the NBA. Like, that'd be
yeah,
fascinating to see. On the other hand, you would not be able to see your kids for probably
yeah,
3 months.
yeah.
Look, this is what I've told NBA guys that are telling me about the 3 month thing. I was like, look, you've gotten to spend 3 months around your kids with not having to go to work. You never get that. So if
Right.
if this is the bad side, the good side is you got way more time than you ever thought possible previously.
Yeah, and there's two parts of it too. I look at certainly it's that intimacy. I would say it's probably even better than All Star or something like that. It's I used to go to the Pete Newell Big Man Camp on Hawaii every summer, and that was truly off the grid, and all of the top coaches were there, and you had players coming in, and it was super casual. I would imagine this is not going to be that, but it would be somewhere in between. The other part, I think about people who are in the military and stationed various places, and they're a lot longer and have far less of an understanding of what the end date is. So I get it; it's a sacrifice. My kids are at a stage now as teenagers where I might feel different at a different stage in their lives, but I will go if called upon.
Yeah. So what is it? Is it like a lottery? Like how does it work?
It's not a lottery. It's a matter of does your outlet want to put up the money, and what are you going to get out of it, and who are they going to send, and for what reasons? And I don't know that decision has been made. I would probably go on behalf of Bleacher Report, but I don't know if or what the decision on that. It hasn't been made yet, as far as I know.
Ric Bucher joining us on the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. Toronto's already headed down there, right? And they're all going to make sure that they're clean and quarantined before they kind of start working out or whatever. But this is so that there's no border kind of issues. What are you hearing about some of the other teams? Like Dallas is now they need more. They need to add players. Like this is
Yeah.
kind of really a fascinating couple of weeks here before they get going.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they're going to have to add players. My understanding is Jalen Brunson had shoulder surgery, and the last I talked to someone close to him, they said he was not going to play again this season, regardless of when the starting date was. So, look, it's. I'll be honest. I haven't been ear to the ground as far as who is going where. I do take the Raptors move in going down there early as an indication of the focus of that organization in terms of, we got a chance to be back-to-back champions. We're going to do whatever is necessary to make that happen and give us an advantage. And so I think that's a really good sign, because this is the interesting point for me. I think it's a really good sign in terms of, in order to do that, you had to already talk to your players and got an agreement that this is what we're going to do, and everybody's signing off on it and feeling good about it. The interesting part will be, you are going down there for 3 months. what's this time ramping up to the 3-month bubble? Is that going to add to the mental stress, or is it going to make you more comfortable when things start? It's an interesting experiment, but I like the idea of a team saying, we're not going to be afraid of the 3-month bubble. We're going to embrace it, and we're going to embrace this journey. And we have our focus on one thing, which isn't 3 months away from our family or playing with no fans or this is going to be weird. It's like, what do we need to do to win a championship? It's just a really good sign, I think, for Raptors fans.
I tend to agree. Jason Kidd is going to interview or has interviewed with the New York Knicks. Where does he stand in regards to the pecking order of the potential new head coaches?
I honestly, I don't know that there is a pecking order with them yet. I think that they're taking, from what I know, they're just taking their opportunity to talk to as many people as possible. And I'm pretty certain that Jason's deal with the Lakers said he was given permission. I'm pretty certain that his deal gave him, if there was an opportunity for him to either interview or become a head coach, that he had the freedom to do that. It's an interesting. The one element here that is interesting and I don't have the answer to it, and it's something that I'm looking to find out, is it appeared like Tom Thibodeau was the leader in the clubhouse. And what I don't know is they're continuing to interview a variety of people. That would lead me to believe that Tibbs didn't blow them away with whatever their meeting was, that they're continuing to explore their options. Doesn't mean he's not ultimately going to get it, but it's not to the point where they close the door after the initial talks with Tibbs.
Who do you think it helps more, the layoff, the Clippers or the Lakers?
I have to believe that it's the Clippers, simply because Kawhi and Paul George especially Paul, coming back from the shoulder surgery, has had the opportunity to get healthy. The way we saw them come into the season, we saw them really good, and they hadn't necessarily found their chemistry. I feel as if what made the Lakers so good was their chemistry, and now you throw in the whole wrinkle of LeBron having one view of playing, Avery Bradley having another, Dwight Howard having yet another. And I know that Lou Williams has talked about having some reservations, but there's nothing like having LeBron involved in any sort of disagreement, large or small, that creates a distraction. And so I just feel like the chemistry of the Lakers was really probably the biggest special ingredient that they had. And now I can they get it back? How fast can they get it back? And how much is the social justice question about playing, not playing, going to affect it?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to it, and I guess only time will in fact tell. Do you believe that Jason Tatum didn't touch a basketball at all during quarantine?
I believe it's possible that he didn't shoot. I believe that it's possible that even that is kind of hard to believe. But to say that he didn't touch a basketball doesn't mean that he hasn't been training. So, look, I will tell you, I know guys that during their off season, they literally did not touch a basketball. They weren't as young as Jason Tatum. It was usually a guy who was 8, 9, 10 years in the league would, like, just from a mental standpoint,
sure, get away from it.
Do a lot of other things to condition, but wouldn't touch a basketball.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have any reason not to believe it. It's a little disappointing, but if he's training physically, then, to each his own. I will say, Jason, look, I'm going to reserve my criticism of Jason Tatum because he impressed me so much with the turn that he made.
That's the thing. He was becoming a star, an absolute star before this thing got shut down.
Yeah. So maybe he's just taking the star turn and he's playing an okey doke. I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't strike me the times that I've talked to him as that type of guy.
Sure.
But I'm not. I'm just going to reserve judgment. I just don't want to like go into this vacuum and suddenly say, yeah, it's disappointing that he hasn't touched the basketball, because I don't know what else he might have been doing. And the way he was touching a basketball last we saw him, I'm good with that.
Do you think it will become difficult for the Nets to get a big-time coach, considering how it appears like the Kyrie thing is just not easy, right? Doesn't mean that he's uncoachable, right? Doesn't mean you clearly can win a championship with him, but you know, the 180, the heel turn he did in regards to his desire to play, and now suddenly let's start our own league. The way Kyrie is, does that make it more difficult for Brooklyn to find a premier coach?
So, you have to tell me what a premier coach would be. I would say instinctively, no, it won't, because coaches always want talent, and you can tell them about all the headaches that a guy might be, but they'd rather do that than take a team that's 500 or just subpar. You know, give me the talent and I'll try to figure it out. I'd rather try to go that direction, no matter what headaches might be presented or whatever. I mean, you know, it's only a Phil Jackson who will say, I'm not going to coach LeBron. I'm not going to Cleveland to coach LeBron James. Those guys that's a rare bird. Most would say, give me a shot. But I don't know of a premier coach, a guy that I would consider a premier coach who's available. Sure. I think there's some good coaches. I can't think of a premier coach right now that's on the market.
I mean, Jeff Van Gundy be the only one I could think of that is viewed, at least from people I've talked to, as a premier coach. Yes, I mean, Doc's not going anywhere, right? Brad Stevens not going anywhere. Phil Jackson's not coaching anybody. Mike D'Antoni may be out of a job, but you know, it doesn't feel like he's viewed as nearly a premier coach anymore. But yeah. you know, Greg Popovich might retire, but he's not taking on the job with the Brooklyn Nets.
I think with Jeff, it's a matter of that he has an alternative that's pretty nice, that he doesn't have to go do it. And so I would be inclined. He's one of those guys who would go, yeah, I don't need to put up with that. My life's pretty good. I don't want to add that. If you're telling, I've got talent, but I'll take a pass on that. I could see that being a discouragement. I think I could see Kyrie, the uncertainty of Kyrie, how to coach Kyrie, that would be an uncertainty that would sway Jeff to stay on TV.
Going to be interesting, man. All right, let us know if you get the quarantine lotto ticket, right? It's like Willy Wonka's, right? Like where you get a chocolate bar and you open it up and it says, you're invited to quarantine. And, you know, make sure you do what the Oompa Loompas tell you to do if you go. We appreciate you joining us.
You got it. I look forward to reports from inside the bubble here on the Doug Gottlieb Show.
That would be pretty cool. Ric Bucher is joining us.